Welcome to another episode of Greatman Ayilara teaching, where we seek simply to know. Please ensure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, turn on the notification button, and to share with your friends. Hello, everybody from all across the globe. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Greatman Ayilara, and you're welcome to this platform where we've been answering questions and also be doing things that are pragmatic, very different from the old order of things, making sure that we redefine things that affect our lives so that when we live consciously with the knowledge that we have amassed, we can then recreate the kind of life that we wanted to live. Today, we are talking about these three things, and I would like us to follow systematically and attentively also, if you can. There's no need for you to rush this particular episode. You might want to revisit later. You might want to listen now. You might even want to push it aside, but it is very important to your life. Fate, karma, and destiny. What are these things? Who is responsible for them? Now, the person who wrote me the query was not bothered about what they are. She was more concerned about who controls them, who detects them, who is responsible for them. These three things, they look almost alike. As a matter of fact, they can be used interchangeably or interwovenly. Over the time, mankind has been made to believe that the course of their life is being influenced by a force that is greater than them. And because of that singular fact, the potential to become something in life was taken away from us, and we begin to live like the beast of the field, a creature of instinct. Time and season happens to them all. There is no way you are going to leave things to the hand of chances and time, and you make a very, very remarkable progress in your life. No way. Nobody sits by and wait for things to happen to them and get things done. And most times when we talk about fate, karma, destiny, we talk about them from the fatal perspective, like they are necessarily bad things. Now, if your fate in life, if your karma in life, if your destiny in life is fatal and very, very negative, do not look up to the sky and say, why did you do this to me? Look inward yourself and ask, how did I allow this to happen to me? Now, God, as you know him to be, or as you know her to be, or whatever it is surely a creator. God is a creator, but God is not an event planner. He is such a good creator that he is a very bad manager. I mean, the spirit of life, the source of life. Such an excellent creator, very bad manager. And because he's very bad in management, he relinquished the power to manage both your life and this planet into your hands. So whatever happened to you in life, you are to be held responsible for it. I repeat again, God is such a awesome creator, but a very bad manager. And you might be hearing it like this today, and it seems offensive to you. At least we're on the same path. We say God exists, right? Yeah, we agree that surely I didn't create myself. You didn't create yourself. I didn't create the universe. Things don't happen without a cause or someone behind it. Surely God must exist somewhere. But then this spirit of life existed only to give life, not to create event. But most times we have acclimatized and giving too much credit to this spirit of life. And it's not even ending there. We give the good credit to him and the bad credit to another creature of our own imagination. We call that one devil. And if devil exists, you also agree that you know that it is God who created the devil. So when you want to talk about the devil and God, with your religious mind, you actually equate devil to God at the end of the day, and you say, while God is doing the good, devil is doing the bad. So inherently, they are both on the same level, doing the same metaphysical things to you. Wrong believing, wrong theology, wrong teaching. But can you escape this? Yes, you can. But before you can escape this, a lot of things are to escape you to. Let it settle within you today that God is such a good creator, but a very bad manager. I will explain to you from the perspective of your Bible. Most of you listening right now are Christian. You would have concluded how the heaven and the earth was made by reading the book of Genesis chapter 1 alone, even though there are books existing before Genesis, and the earth has been in existence before Genesis started capturing it. But the mistake you made is that you do not know that the whole of Genesis is the summary of creation. Now, the process of creation was started in Genesis chapter 2. And this is one thing I took out from it for those who are Christians. Nothing grew up on this planet until man was created. So the garden was not planted before the man was planted before the one was created before the garden. He said nothing was permitted to grow on the field because the man was not yet created. And when the man was created, things started growing. And God, so to say, put man in the garden that he planted. Why? Because the nature about vacuum, where there is no manager, there is no event. And the manager creates the event that he manages. It is the same thing with fate, karma, and destiny, which you are solely responsible for. God is not in charge of your fate. God is not in charge of your karma. God is not in charge of your destiny. The highest you could say is that he made us to be useful to one another. And in being useful to one another, a school of thought said we are serving God also. Yeah, that's a general notion. Of course, if we exist in this world and we are not useful to one another, it's as good as not coming at all. So our coexistence and co-living, cohabitation, help us to actually form society, civilization, country, nation, policy, and organization. That is normal. That is normal. Even the animals, they exist in their own civilization, the most organized set of creature in the world. The plants of the field, the trees of the forest, they exist with highest form of organization. Take ants, for example. They have their colony. So it is only normal for our inherent nature to coexist together, form policies for us to be able to rule ourselves and also govern ourselves. But that is not the doing of the source of life. It is your doing, it is my doing. Now, For people who are not Nigerians listening to me, or if you're going to be born when this particular institution has been reformed, there is a usual word that is being used in our Nigerian police force, Nigeria Police Force, NPF. They say an accidental discharge. An accidental discharge. That is when a policeman kills a citizen or a civilian, anyhow, extrajudicial killing is being seen as accidental discharge. That is not how life is. Life is not accidental discharge. Fate doesn't happen to you accidentally. Karma doesn't happen to you accidentally. Your destiny is not formed accidentally. Those who live unconsciously become an item of accident in this world. Those who live unconsciously, they become accidental item in this world because they do not even take charge of their own action, reactions, and they don't possess the life they want to live. They do not make it their personal responsibility and duty to create the kind of life they desire. They leave everything to time, they leave everything to chances. So things happen to them the way it will happen to an animal. Things happen to them the way it will happen to any beast of the field. And then because they could not explain why that is happening, or because they don't want to take responsibility for what is happening as their own responsibility, as their own cause, they say, oh, God is dictating the fate of my life. It's giving me destiny. It's giving me karma. If at all, the source of life give you destiny, karma, or fate, it will be good one. Surely it will be good one. No manufacturer creates a certain item just for destruction. You want to get credit for whatever it is that they created. So if you are created by the best manufacturer in the world, you were created to experience the best that he has to offer. But how do you experience the best? The best you create for yourself is the best you get out of life. The best you create for yourself is the best you get out of life. Now, there's a particular part of your scripture that says, be anxious for nothing. He said, but for everything, give thanks. Now, it looks contradictory only for those who understand a deeper meaning of that. How will something happen to you that is negative, and then the one who did evil to you expect you to say thank you for doing this to? That must be a cruel creature, a cruel creature. That must be a very bad God indeed. And if you keep serving him, you are not serving him because you love him. You are serving him because you want to escape his judgment and his punishment. As a matter of fact, a lot of you are loving God today by confession of your mouth, not because it pays you, but because you don't have a choice. Now, the spirit of life should not be seen as that who imposes will on you. No. As a matter of fact, the spirit of life have no will for you than to exist. So if you are now existing and then making a living for the living, then it's good. We say it is good. Now, those who do not take charge of their life do not know what happens to them next or what will happen to them in the future. People who are chosen to be irresponsible in life never know what next is going to happen. Remember, we believe that the world was created with laws and principles. How you make use of it and the result of what you make use of is now solely dependent on you. But if you are consciously anxious, that shows that you have done nothing to warrant a definite answer or a definite result. So those people are creatures of instinct. They work by chances. They do not know if tomorrow they will die. They do not know if tomorrow they will live. They do not know if tomorrow they will be successful. They're just going with the tide, flowing with the current. If I die, I die. if I don't die, glory to God. That was not the intention of the spirit of life for you. He wanted you to take charge of your life. Now, the spirit of life is so plain that the number of hours he has given to you who is poor are the same number of hours he gave to those who are still keenly rich. Now, the difference between you who is poor and those who are rich is not chance, it is decision. Then you now begin to say it is the destiny of some people to be poor, while the destiny of some people is to be rich. No, there is nothing like that. It is the decision of some people to be poor and the decision of some people to be rich. That's the way it is. You begin to think of life that way, and you realize that you will be doing what is necessary for you to achieve the result or live the kind of life you want to live. Simply take responsibility. Now, faith could be as a result of your action, or the action of someone close to you, or the action of the people around you, or the action of the government of your country, or the action of your parent, or whatever. It is not a karma on you. It is because they made a decision, either wrongly or positively, that you are also a partaker of their own wrong decision. Your parents sure do not want to go into enterprising or entrepreneurship and all that. So you grew up in a family where they always look for a job. Now, they made a decision. Fate, out of their decision, now made you become someone who is always running the rat race. You also want to also and all that. Whereas if they had made a decision to be a business person, take all the risk and become rich and all that, you realize that your fate at the end of the day, or your destiny at the end of the day, or the karma, which is the consequences of their action, will be that you will be born with a silver spoon. Can you see that? So the creator of life did not do any form of discrimination. There is nothing that the creator of life want to gain by making some people poor or making some people rich. Only our decision. Now, thank God, you know that your parents' decision is now affecting you. You need to make money for yourself, live the kind of life that you are looking for. But you also need to now make a decision to say, I want to break these jinx. That is where we do not believe in generational curse. Your action bring about a reaction for you, not because of other people's reaction or their steps, but because you chose not to change the narrative of the life you want to live. So you can inherit poverty, you can inherit failure, but you don't have to die in poverty, you don't have to die like a failure. Surely you have the power within you to create the kind of life you want to create. That is the DNA of the spirit of life that is in you. The ability to create exactly the kind of life you are looking for. So in this world, nothing, nothing happens to you except through your decision. Except see, don't say some things. Now somebody is saying sometimes. Say sometimes things that you do. All the time, things could turn out of hand. All of the time, things could be in line with our decision. Either your life get better or it doesn't get better. It has nothing to do with going to a mountain to pray. Now wake up now. Wake up now. Wake up now. It has nothing to do with going to the mountain to pray. It has nothing to do with starving yourself of food. It has nothing to do with being useful to this and all. It has everything to do with your decision. Your marriage is breaking. You've had marriages, like 5 marriages now. They keep breaking because you made the wrong decision. Not because somebody is after your home. No. And one thing I've discovered in the aspect of marriage is that we marry this set of people that we have been in love with before who broke our heart. So we tend to divorce. We have broken relationship over and over again because why? We refuse to learn from what has happened before. So because we chose to go into things blindly, we get the treatment of a blind person, always getting into the ditch. Your decision is not your business is not crashing because God wants you to work for him, or God is compelling you to come into a ministry, or God is trying to punish you for anything. Your business crash because you don't have enough knowledge on how to run business. In an economy where your business is not thriving, do you know some people are raking in millions in foreign currency in that same economy? What is the difference? Most times, most of them are not as religious or spiritual as you are. They have one earth and then they have 24 hours of the day. So when you begin to realize that your life and what happens in it is solely dependent on what you permit to happen, you'll be taking more responsibility for it. Look at yourself right now. You're listening to me and you are choosing how to perceive the message I'm teaching. A lot of people have tuned in and they have gone. They chose and they decided, okay, I don't want to listen to this foolish man. He's talking garbage. He's talking whatever it is that I want to. Now they make that decision. Now, does that mean there is no sense in what we are saying? There might be sense in it. What happened? They escaped the sense in it, and they might not be able to get it from somewhere, or they might be lucky to get it from somewhere. If, as a result of not getting the information, they fall into a ditch, they are quick to say, God is trying to visit me with punishment, or fate is happening to me, or karma is happening to me, or destiny is working things out. No, you chose not to access the right information in order to turn around the course of your life. So, is fate in existence? Yes. Do we agree that there is karma? We say yes. Is there destiny? We say yes. Who is responsible? You. You are responsible. But over the time, people felt, how best can we take money out of people's pocket? How can we rake in money? How is it that some microscopic few of us can earn a lot at the expense of the millions of the rest? So they created institutions upon institution, and they gave you some kind of names like fate, like karma, like destiny. And you know what they do? They always tie it to things that you cannot easily reach, so that you will be thinking that you are powerless. You are a powerful creature, a very extraordinary, powerful being. You only need to live consciously. Now, living consciously is different from living in fear. Living consciously is different from being mindful. Living consciously is different from being suspicious. Living consciously means you are taking responsibility for all your action, either spontaneous action or intended action. You are taking full responsibility for it. You are not blaming anybody for your action. Irresponsible people blame unseen forces for their action. Life is not Nigerian police force where there are accidental discharge and you lose your life. No, life is not. When you live consciously, what happens to you is that you can almost determine the result of your action and the course of your life. And it's so simple. How do you do this? You simply say to yourself, what is the best thing I deserve in life? Because I've met a lot of people who do not even know that they deserve better than what they have already gotten. Millions of people who are running on what is available, not what is obtainable. Now, you need to move from the level of availability to obtainability to attainability. A lot of people do not cross from the level of availability. They live on what is available. They do not make the conscious effort to move into the level of what is obtainable. Now, obtainability is you making a conscious effort to take what belongs to you in this world, in this life. If anybody deserves to be rich, you deserve to be rich. If anybody deserves a peace of mind, you deserve a peace of mind. If anybody deserves to live in luxury, you deserve to live in luxury. If anybody deserves to have the best marriage in the world, you deserve it. Everything good, you deserve it. Do not let chances be the cause of your life. Now, when you begin to see, okay, are the things that are obtainable, now you now begin to challenge yourself to move from that level to what is attainable. Now you begin to look for what is the next thing. First, you have to break the jinx of availability, move into the level of obtainability, then from the level of obtainability to attainability. Now, attainability is you transcending from this world into the world that you really want for yourself. A world where there is no weeping, no crying, no cheating, nobody disturbing your peace. And that is how you get to give thanks to the Spirit of life in all situations, because you are not living on anxiety. A lot of people take a dose of anxiety for everything in their life, always living on the edge, working on the eggshell, trying to think, okay, right, oh, all right. I don't know. Then if you are living that way, you will be a social animal who live on the dose of hypocrisy, because you'll be saying yes to people just because of what you want to get from them, not because of what they have to offer. Now, there is a difference between people offering you stuff and obtaining things from them or getting things from them. When people offer you stuff, they offer you stuff to support your vision. Now, you have decided that this is what I want in life. You are working consciously towards it. And if you are serious on it enough and dedicated to it enough, what happens is that the universe begins to touch you out of people to offer you stuff that is needed to achieve your dream. But when you are looking for what to get from people, you will be an hypocrite. You will be ready to stoop low. You will be ready to lick the dust of their feet. You will be ready to do everything and anything just because of your own selfish motive. You get the point? Now, this fate, karma, and destiny are solely because you have done something and the repercussion of it is coming towards you. You will not like this message, because the moment you allow it to take root in your heart, the course of your life is changed forever. And people will say, does it mean that you don't believe in God? We believe that something created what we are and who we are. But we also believe that the source of life have no hand in the way we manage our life. This is a cigarette. I'm just kidding. This is a pen. But let's say this is a cigarette. And I used my money to buy it. And I put light in it. And I began to smoke it. In a world where we are trying as much as we can for our cars not to smoke, we keep putting in smoke to this machine that was created not to smoke at all. And maybe a few years' time, the man is down with lung cancer or some other complications. You know what happened? He becomes emotional and begin to use emotional blackmail to sell what he has created as an event to other people, making them feel that God is trying to kill you for something. So when he dies, instead of him to say, I caused my death, I killed myself, he's going to die leaving this impression on people's face and people's eyes and people's mind that God give it and God take it. He didn't take you. You took yourself. He didn't take you. You took yourself out, perhaps untimely. So people always say, maybe it's his destiny to die young. Maybe no, no one was created or destined to die young. Killed yourself young. What about people who use faith for everything and say, okay, by his stripe I am healed and all of those things? You have headache. It could be it could be a symptom of typhoid. Go to the hospital. Have yourself checked up. You want to have sex with a stranger for heaven's sake, and you are not protecting yourself. And why should you even have sex with a stranger? And maybe you contracted an STD, curable or incurable, and it's easy for you to go and say, oh, God is trying to punish me. God has no hand in your punishment. You killed yourself. It wasn't your destiny to die that way, but you chose to create that destiny for yourself because of your momentary time of pleasure. You chose not to live consciously. And because you are living unconsciously, you become an accidental item. What happens to the rest happens to you. I don't want to die that way. No, I don't want to die that way. So you want to take your car out, you didn't check your brake pad, you didn't check your steering, you didn't check your oil, you can see pothole in front of you and you chose to get into it, you overspeed and then you die through car crash. Not you, you're saying. And all of a sudden somebody come before your graveyard and say, God give it, God take it. God didn't take you, you took yourself out. It is not your destiny to die that way. But you chose to live that kind of destiny. Whatever happens to us, what I'm trying to establish is that we are sole proprietor of whatever it is that we face in life. Conscious effort. So Iran shot down a Ukrainian plane. Somebody is going to go to church or mosque and say, God give it, God take it. No, God did not take. The spirit of life don't take people violent like that. No, he didn't take them like that. Iranian people took them. Let's point at the source of actions so that we will live more responsibly. So a pilot is flying a plane and there is no maintenance, and they had a plane crash, and we say it is not the doing of God. That is not the act of God. It is not a destiny that was created. God does not formulate your destiny. It is because you did something wrong that something wrong happened to you. It is because you chose to live consciously that you don't involve in accident. It is because you chose to live in a neglect and ignorance that you begin to reap the reward of your. When this thing now come back to you, you call it fate, as if it's an accident, as if you are not part of the contributor to what happens to you. You begin to feign ignorance. You begin to say, no, I don't know. It is God doing this to me. And because it is what you have done, it is literally known as karma. Whatever it is that you sow, that's what you are reaping. And when you combine faith and karma together, religious people tell you that God has written your destiny, that you cannot be better than where you are, that you cannot grow more than this. God does not have hand in creating destiny of people. So if you are one of those people singing that song, that destiny changer, destiny healer, destiny, God have no hand in it. You are seeing ignorance, pure ignorance. You are the sole proprietor of your own destiny. The highest God can do for you is to create you, put you in the best planet in the world where there are chances, where there are opportunities, where there are things, beautiful things, as well as bad things that you could create for yourself. So who made fate? Who created karma? Who created destiny? It is you. It is me. When you live consciously, taking charge of your health, making sure that things go well, you'll realize that most of the terminal health issue that we live on this life everybody want to live in a city. City is polluted with air. And then we breathe in gas, we breathe in dangerous content and element, and we get cancerous at the end of the day. And then we say, God, you destined me to die of cancer. God did not destine you to die of cancer. You chose to live in the city. You bear the consequences of the city. The city is polluted. There are spaces in the village. It's even more cheaper to live there. Go close to the nature. That's why in our organization, Crystal Foundation, we plant trees, we nurture the nature, and we spend time with the nature. We spend time in the nature. That's just a simple truth. There is no God engineering your life. There's no God engineering your destiny or something. You made what you want. You have all the recipe in the world. Put it in the pot. Create whatever it is you need. You want dinner, you want breakfast, create it. How your life turns out is solely your responsibility. When you begin to live with that consciousness, what happens to you is that you begin to make the right decision. You begin to make the right decision. You don't crash your car by accident. Either you are drunk, or you refuse to obey the traffic rule, or someone else chose to not obey the traffic rule. It is all your responsibility. It's either your responsibility or the responsibility of someone. But one of you must be a player in what happened. And God is none of it. God is none of it. So in case you have been going to church or mosque or whatever it is that you've been going to just because you want your destiny to change, nobody created your destiny. You create your own destiny. And one of the destiny you are creating for yourself by going to those places, I'm not saying don't go. But if you go with this impression that maybe your destiny will be rewritten, the only destiny you will write is destiny of idleness. You know what happened to those who are idle? They are just a matter, having weight, occupying space, and then they are useless. They are useless. People write to me and say, shall I give my life to Christ? I say, take your life away from Jesus and make use of it to the best of your knowledge. Because Jesus Christ didn't give his life to you. He chose to live his own life. And the result of his life is what he got. You can't stand up to the government of the day as powerful as the Roman government and see and think you will live. You don't survive it. You don't survive it. You get? It's just like a political activist in Nigeria, a man called Showore. I give Showore so much credit on my video. So people of the future generation, when this video begin to go viral, will know him, political activist. He knows what he was dealing with. And he faced the monster of his own decision. That was not a destiny written by God. It is the consequences of his action. To go to jail for some 100 or something days and come back. If he chose to keep quiet, then no more jail. If he chose to speak again, then there will be jail. There are consequences and actions that we need to also embrace. You want to sacrifice yourself, you do it because that's what you believe in. And the fact that you are sacrificing yourself does not mean that people you sacrifice for appreciate what you do. You can't hold them responsible for it. You die, you die. They die, they die. ah, ah, I have more to say to you, and I have more to share with you. But for the sake of time, I will let you go now. I'll get off your face. Be responsible. That's just what business of life is. Stop putting everything in God's account. Stop making God look like one who has not completed what he needed to do. He created the word complete. And you are one of the completion of God's work. He gave you a buffet. Choose what you want. Create it. If you now carry akara and salad, you eat it. After eating, you begin to purge. Is that God's destiny? Is that the destiny of the caterer for you? Did the caterer write purging material in what? No, you took what you want. You made a recipe with it. You combine them together. You get a result of what you want. That's the same thing with life. That's exactly the way life runs. So when you say, I want to go for 100 days fasting, 50 days prayer, this revival, that concert, and all that, you are actually writing another destiny. Either it's going to be useful or useless. Now, that is left to you. So when you do what you want in your heart and nothing happened, do not ever point your finger to the sky and say, God, and you saw me and I fasted and I prayed and you refused to. God has no hand in it. You want to punish yourself, you are free. You are free to be punished. So far, you are the one writing your own punishment. People live a life of so much hell. They live their life as if they are training to become a secretary or a gatekeeper in hell. People live a life so porous, feeling sad, feeling depressed today. I don't know what is happening. Come off it and get out of that mood and review the course of your life. What have you been doing wrongly? Then revisit it and do it rightly. If you don't have a clue, reach out to people who have done it successfully. Surely there is information for your liberation in this world. Surely there is an information for your liberation in this world. You chose not to seek the right information for the kind of situation you find yourself. And because you are doing the same thing the same way, you'll be getting the same answer. It is only a madman that keep doing the same thing over and over again and keep expecting a different answer. It don't work that way. And I don't want you to feel bad because you have tried and you failed. There is nothing like failure in this world. You have just discovered how many ways not to do what you want to do. Nothing like failure. You only discover how many ways not to do what you want to do. So you also take those things you call failure as a lesson. But before you begin to say destiny, karma, fate, ask yourself, which one am I creating for myself? I am surely creating my destiny. I'm surely creating my own karma. The words I say, I live it. I get results. You see me every single day come at you, answer questions because I try these things. When anything happens to me, I don't blame God before I blame myself. I blame myself, I revisit it. When it is good, I say, okay, yeah, you're trying, you're making sense. When it is not good, I say, okay, what is left to be done? Now, in that wise, when you have that attitude, what you realize is that you begin to give thanks to the source of life at all times because you are tapping into your divine reality. By leaving the stage of availability to obtainability, from obtainability to attainability. You get the point now? So I will be disappointed if after you have heard this, you believe that God is in charge of your destiny or karma or fate. Be responsible. You train up a child in the way that he should go. When they grow up, they form a destiny according to the information you have fed them. So your scripture or any scripture at all never recorded it that train up a child in the way of the Lord. It was not specified. What he said, train up a child that in the way he should go. That says, show the child his destiny that he should or they ought to achieve. Tell a child, not that God exists or devil exists. Tell a child this is the pros and cons of your action. When you grow up, make decision for yourself. But what do? We scare them with God. We also scare them with heaven. We terrorize their life with hell, and we punish them with the name of the devil. So the children grew up thinking they have no choice and they have no hand in how life happens to them. They grow up like a creature of instinct, an animal that roam about the bush that can be killed at any time or serve as a prey. They grow up thinking, oh, I don't have a choice. Whatever happened to me, I will just take it like that. They become a creature of instinct, time, and chances. You can be rich if you have decided to. Take your destiny in your hand, write the one that is good, erase the one that is bad. You can be poor if you want to. Erase the good one, live up to the bad one. You can complain all your life. You can choose to rise above everybody. You can be outstanding. You can be a known face. You can be a voice to the people only by your decision. Let's not go beyond that. I hope you have learned a few things in today's teaching. Keep your question coming in. This is a channel where you seek and you find, because those who seek, they always find. And I want to use the opportunity to also invite you to volunteer with us at Crystal Foundation. Crystal Foundation, we are doing our ongoing 2020 Global Volunteering Program. If you have passion for helping sick children, fostering teenagers, if you have passion for helping disenfranchised widows and single teenage mothers, if you have passion for nurturing the nature by planting trees, tending garden, doing irrigation, if you have passion for grassroots development, we need you in our organization. Your little donation, your active participation can go a long way. Just check the detailed session of this particular video and you see a link to register and also join our group where we think all the time on how to write a better destiny, expect the better karma, and the kind of fate that we want. Not leaving anything to chances or saying, God, why are you doing this to us? We believe that whatever happens in this world, it happens because we agree for it to happen. We believe that whatsoever we decree here, we are the God of this earth. We are the one who make decision here, and we want to live up to that responsibility. Thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you. Thank you. Send your inquiries and your questions to greatmanayilara@gmail.com. greatmanayilara@gmail.com. And should in case you want to really talk to me, chat with me, you can use our WhatsApp line 08078384845. 08078384845. Support this channel. There are more than enough truth that we need to reel out. We need to redefine everything the way it ought to go. Not because someone wants to get rich, want to ride private jets or fly around the world, but because someone is passionate about the freedom of an average African person and the people all over the world. Till the next time I see you again, don't forget, it's going to be selfish and you'll be erasing some people's destiny if you don't share this message with someone right away. And if you are a newcomer here, press the subscribe button. You will not be charged extra for it. You're already using your data. And the right-hand corner notification button is very important, so that you know when we are live. Namaste.